Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Since I'm shorter, I get to talk right into the microphone. I'm honored to follow these three American leaders, and I'm particularly honored to be your guest tonight and to wish you all a happy Nowruz. From a Washington perspective, we remember 1979. It was a long time ago when a dark cloud descended over Iran. Today, in 2018, frankly, we see dark clouds gathering over many places around the earth. And we're starting to notice that repression is setting in from Russia to China to Syria to North Korea and elsewhere, not just Iran. And now we are wondering if the freedom that you just heard Governor Ridge and Ambassador Blackwell talk about is beginning to slip away around the world. I personally am so grateful to have met many of the members of the Organization of Iranian American Council members here in America, fellow citizens of the United States, to have met many of the resistance members in Paris and around the world, people who have come out of Iran, the older generation, the young generation. What have we learned by listening to their stories? We've learned that people like me, who have been following policy for a long time, we've been talking about human rights. We've been talking about stopping war. We've been talking about being responsible with weapons. It becomes meaningless after a while until you start to talk to the families who have stood guard since their relatives were tortured and murdered, standing for freedom. And all of a sudden, you see children being sent to guard the shrines of Syria, and you realize that this is a huge abuse of human rights. You see mothers and daughters and children being bombed in the suburbs of Damascus and in Ghouta and in Idlib in the north of Syria, being called in by the Quds Force, paid for by money received through the commerce of this regime in Iran. And you begin to say, this is very real. There's repression in China. They're surveilling all the population with cameras, but they're doing it through social media in Iran as well. Mr. Putin is poisoning his enemies and assassinating his critics. They are being executed much faster in Iran. We realize that we have a major fight for freedom. And in this country, when we turn on our social media and we see young people in Iran being given the lash because they're dancing to the music, and we see people who are executed and imprisoned for their political views, it's no longer an abstraction, because in our country, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness are not just a policy of the United States. They are the foundational belief that these are rights which are endowed by our Creator. So indeed, this is about the misuse of religion, and the United States of America has a religious disagreement with the clerics of Iran. And so we find that the Shia clerics of the rest of the world are not following Velayat Faqih. We find that the Grand Ayatollahs in Qum are separating themselves from this regime because they are too involved in politics. We see, finally in December, that the common citizens of Iran are standing up and saying, no more. This has to stop. No more money for bombing in Syria. No more for repression. No more executions. And I have to say, as this Nowruz reminds us, it's more than a new season. It is obviously an awakening of the great Persian and Iranian culture and civilization of 5,000 years. But I'm here to say and to salute and to thank the members of OIAC, the members of the National Council of Resistance of Iran, the members of the Mujahideen-e Khalq, the brave citizens of Iran, the Revolutionary Guard members who are tearing up their membership cards, the jailers in Evin prison who are saying, I don't support these people anymore, I don't believe in it anymore. They are all part of a movement that needs to push away this black cloud. And as the Persian civilization rediscovers itself in this new year, I have to tell you, you are helping America to discover what we stand for as well. And for that, I will always be in your debt. Thank you.